Yep, great Pac-12 battle from back in the day. But no, it was a great win by our guys. I give our guys a lot of credit. I mean, we've had it's like you don't even know who's going to play come game time, man. And for guys to just keep stepping up and kind of fill different roles, really proud of them. I mean, I could go down the list of guys. I thought Frank Kepnang was awesome. Especially in that second half, he was really rebounding out of his area, but he did what Frank does. And he's kind of our CEO, like our chief energy officer. Like when he's playing like that, he gets the crowd juiced up, he gets his teammates juiced up. But having 6 block shots and 10 rebounds, and really like flying around, like going to get rebounds out of his area, really proud of him. And Desmond and Zoom, I thought were terrific. Offensively for sure. 45 points, 10 assists, and I think 2 turnovers combined. And they knocked down some really big shots down there at the end, getting to the paint, knocking down free throws. But that's why they're tremendous players. And proud of them. The second half, I thought Zoom Kamari was tremendous off defensively all game. Like those two guards they have are really hard to guard, and Kamari did a tremendous job. And then in the second half, we switched them up, and we had Zoom guard number 3, and number 2 and number 3 in the second half only combined for 4 points, which was the whole key to the game. And so I thought Kamari and Zoom did a tremendous job guarding those two, and we knew we were going to give up some buckets to other guys. We had to start trapping number 2 off ball screens because he was killing us in the first half. And so we knew we were going to give up some threes, and Dawes made us pay, the big kid, number 8. I thought he played tremendous tonight. I think on the year he was 4 of 26 from 3. And he made 3 tonight. And so, you have to kind of pick your poison. I thought, the Sanders kid, the young kid, I thought played really well, knocking down 2 threes, and one of them, bounced around the rim about 10 times. But, and I thought he did a good job. Now, we knew he was a shooter coming in, but you're going to give up something, but really proud of our guys and their effort and finishing off. Like we did hit some adversity and hit some dry spells, but for our guys to continue to battle and get stops when it mattered, is improvement for us.
Did this feel like a Big Ten type of a game? Because
Yeah.
it seemed like you shortened your rotation and you really playing to like guys that you trust and guys not that you don't trust everybody, but guys that you know that you can lean on and wouldn't be like too like this moment wouldn't be too big for.
Yeah, and to your point, like I don't think it's too big for any of our guys. Like, we're looking for times to put in Joss here because he's been playing really good for us, but it was just kind of the flow of the game. We couldn't really get him in. And then some guys, we got to get more production out of. I love the shots that we're getting. Even in the first half, I mean, we're getting wide open threes. You can't get you better looks. And it's only a matter of time until we make 3 or 4 in a row. And if we could have made even 2 of those in the first, like it's a totally different game. It changes how you have to play possession to possession. All of a sudden now you're up 9 instead of in a 1-point game. And so we gotta stay in the gym and we gotta knock down shots because it bit us. I mean, you go 1 for 15 against Seattle and then you go 3 for 15 tonight. You're not going to win too many Big Ten games shooting a basketball like that. And when you're open, you got to knock them down.
To have 3 guys provide the bulk of the scoring, probably not how you drew it up, but it says what about those three guys to like even be able to like do that?
Yeah, well, they're dynamic. Anytime you put Zoom or Desmond in a ball screen, like they're either going to draw 2 or they're getting the ball to the paint. And they're going to collapse the defense, and that's when you have to make shots. Or they're tremendous finishers. And a lot of coaches don't like mid-range stuff right now. Like that's a strength of 2 of their games. Those 2 and Bryson, like getting to the mid-range, I trust they're going to make those shots, and I got to let those guys shoot it because that's what they're confident doing. So really getting those guys, and like I said, Hannes, and it's nitpicky. Like I didn't think he played very good at all, and he had 20 and 11. I didn't. It looked like he was kind of stuck in mud. He wasn't jumping. And like a lot of those rebounds, he's been getting those rebounds this year, and guys were jumping over him tonight. And so he's got to clean that up, because you go to Indiana and Purdue, it's not going to get any easier. And so, there's a lot of stuff that we can learn from this game. And like I said, I hope I keep complaining about getting 20 and 11 from him, but my expectations is just it's not even about the numbers. It's just what I'm seeing him do possession by possession and the effort.
Coach, with Wesley's injury, a lot of talk about him being out is related to his scoring ability, but also the perimeter defense he provides in the minutes on the court. And you touched on Peterson's performance today. in really his spot in the starting lineup, and just the defensive impact he had in the second half. Just he's been in so many different places in the rotation this year with the injuries. Just what have you seen from him, not just from tonight, but over the course of the year, just kind of adapting to whatever role you guys need for him?
You're talking about Kamari?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kamari's just a tough-ass kid, man. And I'm just telling you, he is. Like, he's a kid every coach wants on their team. He never pouts. He doesn't care about shots. I mean, this is a player of the year in his conference. This is one of the most highly recruited point guards, combo guards in the country, and he's never said one thing about not getting shots. He's like, Coach, what do you need me to do? You need me to guard for 40 minutes? Got you. You notice all the loose balls and 50-50 plays? He's the guy coming up with them. I need some of these other guys to come up with them too. If you want to continue to win in the Big Ten, it can't just be Kamari. Like, we need other guards to get their nose bloody a little bit too, and get on the court like Kamari. But when you have a guy that unselfish, like the whole team respects him. I thought he made a huge three in that second half that started the whole run. Frank and Hannes, that great baseline screens, knocked down a huge three. But that's who he is, man. And that's why his teammates love him and coaches love him. Everybody does.
And on the note of injuries, Lathan's second game for him out. You guys got any update on him yet?
I don't. I'm very happy for him and thankful that it wasn't something more serious. Because when we watched it, like, it didn't look good. We could all thought he tore something. And then when he got the MRI and the X-ray, like, there was nothing structurally, which is great. And so now it's just sore and it was a little swollen. So it's just a matter of time. It could be a week, it could be 2, it could be tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not sure. But I imagine it'll be a couple weeks.
And what's the update on Wesley? I saw a big wrap on his hand.
Yeah, he had surgery last Tuesday on his wrist. He broke a bone in his wrist, and that's another one. It's kind of it could be 6 months, it could be 3 weeks, it could, like, we don't know until he'll go back and kind of continue to get X-rays, and it's a very rare kind of bone that he broke, and so I wish I had an answer, but those are kind of the answers that I've been given too.
Zoom really stepped in for Wesley tonight. What can you say about his performance today?
Zoom stepped in for Zoom. Zoom's been playing a lot all year, and he's a tremendous player. He was phenomenal. I think he's been really good. Mm-hmm. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and so he said he's been working a lot on his defense. What did you see tonight from him?
Yeah, I mean, like, last year, I could have never put Zoom on number 3 in the second half and told him to go guard him. I couldn't have done it, And it shows the maturity and the improvement that he's made, just from scout details of how we're guarding people. Just his effort of staying in a stance, for longer than 5 seconds. Like, the pride he's taken in that was awesome because that kid's as hard as they are to guard. Like, the way he moves and how quick he is and how he can get his shot up, anytime. Like, it was a tremendous effort by Zoom, and we needed every minute of it in that second half to win.
Danny, I know when Kamari signed, one of the things you talked about was his late game ability to make key shots, whatever you needed.
Yep.
It feels like right now Zoom and Dez are the ones that are kind of demanding the ball. Mm-hmm. I mean, have you kind of noticed that there's maybe kind of an unspoken thing right now, the chemistry, and then also the way the bigs are giving them lanes to try to get free to the bucket? Yeah.
No, I mean, great point. Now, like, if Kamari's tremendous in ball screens too, and like I said, analytically, he was one of the best in the country in the last 8 seconds of shot clock. But right now we need him spacing the floor because if he's in the ball screen, they might have all 5 guys in the paint. And so having him on one of the wings, it allows Dez and Zoom to now be able to be creative and make plays because they have to stay with Kamari. If they come and help, now we're kicking it out for an open 3. And people aren't letting Kamari get those open 3s right now, which is kind of turned it into a 4-on-4 game, which is opening up those lanes for Dez and Zoom to attack. Or if they help, we get Hannes in a short roll where he's terrific. But the whole key to it, too, is Frank. Frank, when he gets down there and he ducks in, and like we call it a roast, like he gets in and he's opening up the key for those. You see it, like Zoom and Dez, they had like 3 or 4 wide open layups because Frank's doing his part, burying his guy under the basket to where he can't even be a factor to block the shot. And so a lot of it, I want to give credit to our big setting great ball screens. And then obviously Zoom and Des are just hella players. You know, they're great players. But when you get bigs doing what Hannes and Frank are doing, it makes it really hard to guard.
And just as an aside, when's the last time you remember not getting any bench points in a game?
I don't think any of my teams have ever had that, to be honest. Hopefully, it's not going to continue. Like I said, I love the guys on our bench, and obviously we only took 5 shots with those guys, but all 5 were wide open, and we got to knock those down, which they will.
Without Wes for however long it may be, is there any one guy in particular that you're thinking their role might change? Not necessarily, because you talked about Jasir and how you want to get him more minutes. So is there anybody whose role might just necessarily change with that absence?
I don't think so. Because like the way this team has been, we've kind of had the same rotation of guards. It's just been different guys. Dez was out for a while, and then Bryson's out for 5 weeks. Now Wes is out, so it's Wes goes out, Bryson comes in. And it's just kind of Kamari and Zoom have kind of been there the majority of the time, and JJ. And now it's kind of getting them all pieced together. And tonight we didn't go to we went to our 4-guard lineup a little bit in the first half, but then when we did, they were just sitting one of the guys in just the paint, and just clogged it up, and we weren't making open shots, so we had to go back to 2 bigs.
Kamari has been in kind of a shooting slump a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you talked about how you need him to space the floor a little bit more, maybe play him a little bit more off ball. He hits that corner 3 today. How much do you think that will help his confidence going forward as he kind of tries to get out of that slump?
I hope it does. I don't even know if he thinks he's in a slump. He's such a confident kid, and he doesn't take bad shots. And some of his, if you look at the percentages, you can be like, okay, he was 1 for 8, but 3 of them might have been at the end of a shot clock or at the end of a game. So it's hard to say, okay, you're 1 for 8. Well, really, you might have been 1 for 5. Sometimes dudes just throw you the ball. Like Zoom tonight, we threw him the ball, and that's the second time he's done that in the last couple games. We throw him the ball with 1 second left, and he's 30 feet from the floor, and he shoots it and makes it. And he actually made it. I think it was against UCLA too. But we can't live off hoping on shots like that. First off, the guys throwing the ball, we got to get a shot on the rim. It's not fair to throw those guys and have them shoot a 30-footer with 1 second left. But with Kamari, honestly, the last thing he's thinking about is his shooting percentage. Really. And he's going to have a game. Like I said, we've seen him make 4 or 5 threes in a game, and he's going to continue to do that. He's the last one I'm worried about.
Hey, Coach, just after 13 games, went on the road, had some big wins, had some upsets. Just where is the team now? Sort of, you have a week now before getting back into conference play. Just where's the team at? Just your thoughts, sort of big picture wise, of kind of where you guys are at.
Yeah, I'm really happy we're 9-4. I'd love to be 11-2 or 13-0, whatever it is. But if you look at the games that that we lost, we had a chance to win every single one of those games in the last 2 minutes of the game. And it comes down to now our guys. We always talk about winning the margins. In those 4 games, we didn't win the margins. We turned the ball over a lot in all 4 of those losses. We got selfish in 3 of them early, and took bad shots, which led to us getting down 18 points at halftime. And against Colorado, pretty much the entire game we played selfish. And then it's mixed up lineups. Against Baylor, we didn't have Dez. We didn't, and we didn't shoot the ball well. Against Colorado, we didn't have Hannes. And so I'm proud of this team the way we've had to. Like I said, there was times we couldn't practice 5-on-5. We still had to find a way to get through the scout and get guys to compete and get used to playing at game speed, which in a couple of those games, it took us 5 to 8 minutes to get used to that pace because we couldn't practice at it because we couldn't afford to lose another body. And so I give our guys a lot of credit. And it seems with this team, it's kind of like every game somebody different just steps up, and it's 2 or 3 guys. Hannes has pretty much been really consistent. I think Zoom's been really consistent too. To be honest, he, may have 1 game, but for the most part, I know what I'm going to get out of Zoom, and I love the confidence that he's playing with right now and the aggressiveness that he's playing with right now. But it's going to be fun to see kind of where this team, gets in it, because it's going to get harder. I mean, you look at the schedule now, it's just like last year. Like, it's brutal. Like, you can still play really good basketball and not win. But now how are we going to continue to just keep getting better no matter what the result, and like really focus on the process of us getting better? You bet. Go Dogs. Happy New Year to you guys.